Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Good day, asshole. Must be from Australia. I'm a 19-year-old student studying computer science in Australia. There we go. I'll cut straight to the chase. I have lived out of home for 2 years when my parents have paid for most of his expenses. First year I lived with a guy that I kind of knew from school, and it started out okay until his crazy Indian girlfriend started practically living with us and stinking out the small apartment with her shitty Indian food and general uncleanliness. It's funny because it's true, it is. Look, we help our Indian and our Somali brothers and sisters, Ethiopian too. You're unaware of it because you've been cooking with this food your entire life, so you don't smell it. But that shit, for anyone who hasn't grown up with it, that shit is pungent. We could smell it a mile away. You could smell it in your clothes, your cars. And I know I'm sure Americans have smell too. I understand that. But that is like, ooh, it's rancid. It's not rancid, it's just really weird smelling. This is really weird. Second year, about to move out, I moved in with one of my closer friends and one of his friends, female, who were generally okay. But I have come to find that I simply don't like living with other people. As a hardworking, ambitious person, I'm not too keen on getting drunk twice a week, as most other people are. I cycle, hike, work, etc. instead, and after a year of living with these kinds of people, I am very reluctant to do it again. Additionally, I just got a job working as a web developer, 16 hours a week, pays well, super flexible, etc. And I now can afford to potentially pay some rent. So the bottom line for next year is this. I can either get a nice room in a share house for a price that my parents can afford, i.e. I won't pay rent, or I can get a studio apartment and live on my own, where I will have to contribute about $50 or so a week. Should I do what I want and sacrifice some of my savings, or man the fuck up and live in a shared house with 2 to 4 other people and save some cash? I'm also interested in getting your general experience on what your general feeling is on sharing versus going solo. Keen for a video, let me know. Cheers. I spread the word daily. Thank you very much. If everybody did that, I would have my house paid off and I would be done. I won't go away, don't worry. What else am I gonna do? Yell at you guys at the internet. I got nothing else. Here's the deal. You got enough money, you don't need to. You really do. But there's pros and cons to both here. One, let's say you do get an apartment. Heck, I've lived in apartments, and the person above you is wood floors and walking around making just as much noise as to whether or not you actually got, roommates in a shared house. So, I mean, it's stuff like insulation. I remember one guy soundproofed his wall, and, it was fine. If you're willing to use things like earplugs or just listen to podcasts before you go to bed, I mean, a lot of this stuff can be taken care of, but is it really worth $200 a month? Well, yeah, if you're on a tight budget, yeah, it is. You don't really have a choice, but then you might get sick, you might miss work because you're not getting any sleep. So it's just because you're going into an apartment doesn't mean you're not going to have troubles with other tenants and it's going to be any better than living in a home. I guess I would just keep moving around. I would always go month to month rent. Always do month to month because you do not want to be stuck in a place where all of a sudden, you're there for a year and the idiot above you is stuck there for the same year because he signed a year lease. And now that idiot is walking around in high heels on a wood floor and you can't sleep. So what I would do month to month, see if whatever best offer comes along. If you could find a place where you got like great roommates, you got 3 people, they're all quiet, they're all nerds, they all stay together, all working hard. That's one thing to do. You may even want to look into a professional fraternity. Sometimes those professional fraternities, I don't know if it's the same in Australia, but the engineering or the accounting fraternity, you may have to pay a little bit of dues, but it'd be a little bit more quiet. So, see if you can't do it on the cheap and you can have a grand old time, people falling asleep. But otherwise, yeah, find an apartment, but you still got to do stop in there on a Friday night at 11 or 12 or 1 a.m. See how many people are coming home drunk, making noise, walking around, getting in fights. Just because it's an apartment doesn't mean it's any better. So the only way you can really keep other people out and have it, you have to have your own house, and you have to have your own property line that even the neighbors can't make enough noise. So, try try and find an old people community, find an old neighborhood, something like that. But don't think you're just going to go into an apartment and get your own place and everything's going to be better. So I don't know how long you got to do this for. You got 2 years until your degree's done, a year or something. I don't know. You got enough money, you can do it, especially with this new job coming in, your parents subsidizing the hell out of you. If it would benefit you healthily, your health-wise, get some more sleep, sure, go ahead, why not? Get your own place. But, do your research. And then don't be surprised that if all of a sudden you're like, this place sucks, and you got to move out because you got bad neighbors. So no guarantee, just, this is where it's like looking for a house that you want to buy, but you're going to live in it. And quiet neighborhoods, old people. I've never really had that bad of problems with roommates or tenants or anything like that. I've really been lucky. But I did my research. So, yeah, that's, I could crash with people, save some money. You get some socializing, too. But if you're not a terribly social person, yeah, go ahead. Do what you want. I would just do some research first, look at the different places you want to live in, and have that determine it. So, best of luck out there in Oz. Toodles.